Fair warning, Nick. I kind of got a little sidetracked off on a bit of a tangent at the end of that video. This will probably be a late warning because you already watched that video, I'm sure. But I hope you got my point. I think I did get it out in the first half of that. But the idea is that, yeah, I'm agreeing. We are a bundle of feelings, but the feelings are somehow organized because there is a continuity and an order to our experience. We can understand it. I mean, you say we don't know what we're going to do, but, you know, are you really willing to say that human beings, all of our, conceptual um, abilities and, all of the massive um, amount of literature that's been written on nature, reality, mystery, the human soul is just pure blabber. I mean, are you really going to say that? I mean, don't you know, at least in some way, what all these words that you're using mean? And don't you necessarily have to suppose that they mean something that's real? I mean, you know, so I just feel that, like, if you talk yourself into a certain position, you end up creating that position. You become what, I mean, okay, yeah, we're automatons. But what is an automaton? It's a self-doing process, right? Um, yeah, but there is this other stuff. I mean, the feeling is important. It does provide us with a certain understanding, a certain knowledge, because the feeling is always a contrast between an actual given fact that compels us to respond to it and a possible uh, idea which that fact could have but did not and might still in the future become. So that's the difference between the physical and the mental, right there. It's the physical is what's actual, it's already happened, and the mental is what then becomes possible, um, that we predict as most likely to occur next. I mean, it's not that the mental controls the physical, or that the physical controls the mental. Um, there's always a relation between these two poles, and depending on how complex the body that we're talking about is, whether an atom or a molecule or a cell or a human being, the mental pole has a larger role to play. In other words, every feeling, being a contrast between actuality and possibility, um, is for a human being experienced much more as possibility than just a given actuality. So we experience the world as a bunch of feelings, and those feelings open up a horizon of possibilities for us, and us, as in all of the cells which make up this body, those cells decide on what's best to do next. They all work together to do it. No individual anything decides to do it. They do it together. This happens every second that you are alive, that your society of cells is alive. So while we can, and I'll agree with you, we can deny any I man inside this society of cells, telling them all what they must do. Nothing is imposed on this body from outside. The body is what does it. It's all the body. But the body and the world aren't separate ultimately. You can't pull them apart. There's no bodies without worlds, right? No bodies without other bodies either. And I said this already in the video I am this body, so you should watch that one. Um, so hopefully I've agreed with you and defined feeling in such a way that helps you understand why I'm so obsessed with that word, or with the fact that nature has feelings. I mean, I wouldn't say nature has given us feelings, because then we're separating ourselves from the world again. We're imagining that organisms can exist without environments. Um, so hopefully you understand my definition of this word feeling and what it allows us to experience, even though what I refer to as us, as I, is just a feeling. I feel you on that one. It's all feelings. Somehow these feelings are directed. Somehow they value certain outcomes more than others, and they organize themselves. They become harmonious. Not always. Sometimes there's total failures, disasters, massacres. There's a lot of suffering in this whole nature evolution thing, or process. But there's also a great deal of organization, of skill, of intelligence, of, you know, beauty and goodness when we're lucky. Uh, so I think I've said enough. See if you have anything to say.